This presentation gives a different way to think about electronic identity. Instead of thinking of electronic identity as being a unique representation, it presents identity as being an emergent property that arises from the communication of electronic identities between each other. It is a generalization of identity that gives any communicating electronic thing the ability to have an identity. It can be thought of as providing a prefrontal cortex to communicating electronic things. Welcomer is a set of open source programs that provide the mechanism for electronic identities to communicate, and is implemented as a set of APIs that sit on top of electronic silos of information. The mechanism is a simple one. It connects data elements in silos that contain the same data about the same thing in different silos. The data values may be different in different silos, but the data elements represent the same thing. So my name could be Kevin Cox in one silo and Ross Cox in another. Silos of data about electronic identities are currently connected through the use of indexes. To connect across silos, we use a hierarchy of indexes, or we use the same index. Welcomer connects the same data elements about electronic identities in different silos. To deploy Welcomer in a silo, the owner of the silo goes through a setup process. The software is first installed, then a public definition of data elements the silo is willing to connect to other silos is made public. Then the private rules that the silo sets on access are defined. This deploying of Welcomer establishes the metadata for the connections. At runtime, the connections are made. Here is a mock-up of a Welcomer screen where the silo owner defines the data elements. Here the definitions are simple. This screen mock-up shows a set of more complex rules associated with data access. It says the person making the request to access must have 3 authentication factors and have been identified by 3 trusted sources before access is granted. Other rules are only let particular applications or organizations access the data. At runtime, the Welcomer data elements in different silos are connected. The data elements are copies of the data elements in the silos. These data elements are stored in Welcomer. The data elements are connected with the minimum set of connections, which is a polygon. Each data element has its own polygon, and the order of connections is likely to be different. In this slide, name is connected, and also internally generated unique ID known only to Welcomer is connected. This unique ID is not in the data silo. As an aside, this unique ID is a distributed ledger. This slide shows another data element that is not in the data silo. That is the device that was last used by the person accessing the data. The polygons are connected at the data silos, and the data structure created from the connected polygons is a polyhedron. It is this polyhedron that can be thought of as an electronic identity. This slide illustrates how Welcomer can be used to make it easy for a person to browse Welcomer-enabled websites. The person visits a data silo A and uses a particular device, say their mobile phone. They authenticate themselves to the data silo with their voice print and a password. Later, they visit another Welcomer-enabled data silo by browsing to a website with the same mobile phone. Welcomer detects that it is the same device and so knows who it is likely to be. The silo can ask for further confirmation of identity or be satisfied and allow the person to access the data silo. In summary, a data silo can deploy Welcomer by getting a certified copy of the software and installing it on a silo. The data the silo is willing to share is specified, and calls to Welcomer from the applications on the silo are set up. The private rules of access are defined. When the silo applications call Welcomer, they connect. It should be noted that the only changes to existing systems is for applications to call Welcomer APIs. Deploying Welcomer means that identity for electronic objects emerges through communication activity. It gives private distributed ledgers. It enables simple and easy browsing of the internet. It provides authentication and verification by accessing past history of activities. It means data can be shared between any identities, including non-human, such as companies, houses, and fridges. The system is distributed, with data silos having private rules of access. The data silos own the Welcomer data attached to the data silos. Welcomer has the minimum of connections to connect data silos. It allows for continuous fraud detection and optimization of the polyhedra while the electronic identity is inactive. Thanks for viewing this presentation. If you wish to find out more, please contact